Factors that influence food availability and intake include religion, literacy rate, geography, health beliefs, and communication styles. Islam is the main religion in Somalia, and it accounts for 99.8% of the population, according to World Atlas. It's a very old religion, and most practice it in accordance to non-halal, which refers to a Islamic law is defined in the Quran. Stunting cannot be used to kill an animal, according to the Halal Food Authority, which is a non-profit organization that monitors adherence to halal principles. Most people in Somalia travel to different towns and cities to get meat that is, under the halal rule. In order for them to consume it. Literacy rate also affects the way that food is available because literacy rate in Somalia is unevenly distributed. Men and women have a huge gap, gender gap, and inequality in Somalia. Men have literacy rate of 49.7%, while only 25.8% of females are literate. Girls are kept from school and expected to learn to care for younger siblings at home, care for livestock, and do housework. Somalia's large percentage of uneducated youth indicates a need for economic growth in a country with an unemployment rate of 67%. This means that literacy rates, as low as they are, influence the technology that they can use to have better ways to preserve food and agricultural growth. Health beliefs include fire burning, herbal remedies, casting, and prayer. Traditional doctors in Somalia are usually older men who've learned their skills through other family members. Seizures, stomachs and backaches, rashes, and sore throats are treated with herbs such as dinzi and habak as well as readings and prayers from the Quran. Their communication style is high context, and they believe in they appreciate above all other forms to have a direct communication style. Communications between Somalis tends to be high context because of their loud gatherings and eye contact. Friends sit closely to each other, but it's also prohibited for the opposite sex to touch in public. This may come from their religious beliefs. Food habits include core and secondary foods, as well as meal patterns, common preparation methods, and special occasion foods. Some core foods are plantain, sorghum for flour, and for kanjiro, which are pancakes, and is a very popular item for breakfast for Somalis. Secondary foods may include things such as goat, lamb, chicken, fish, and a typical meal includes spicy stew, often with beef, lamb, kid, or fish, eaten with injera-like breads known as anjiro. Flavor profiles are influenced a lot by Asian and Indian spices such as curry. They eat about 2 times per day. It really just depends on the person or the family. Sometimes it can be up to 3 times a day in other Eastern countries in Africa surrounding it. Some common preparation methods are fried, grilled, broiled, but it has to be done in ghee. Oud kak is a type of is a murkak of a Somali dish consisting of preserved meat. It is another type of preparation method done and used with a lot of butter, salt, and sugar. Slaughtering standards are other types of preparation methods because they it's a standard of their habit of food and the way that they must have it in order to consume it. Special occasion foods include halva that are served in weddings and other special occasions. Dates are often consumed after Ramadan. Some historical food preparation methods include underground storing of grain because in order to keep it fresh. Meat drying is also done in the sun, but protein and fat breakdown as well as vitamin loss is common in this procedure. Dining etiquettes include using no utensils and eating with your right hand. It is very common to do this in Somalia. Your left hand is not to touch the plate because it's considered dirty. You do most of your cleaning with this hand. And food for use of food for health, I found something that is very close to the religion, and it is believed that one's life is predetermined by a law before birth, and services for preventative health may not be sought. This is because they are very strict in their religion, and they do believe, in fact, that you should be healthy, but things to prevent this should not be done. The Global Nutrition Report classifies this country as experiencing 3 forms of malnutrition, such as underweight, anemia, and staunching. Another recent report done by UNICEF is 1.4 million children are suffering from malnutrition. Health diseases in relation to food habits include bacterial and protozoa diarrhea, hepatitis A and E, and typhoid fever because of unclean water sources. High levels of cholesterol are also common because of their consumed red meats. Foods that should be encouraged and limited include those that are encouraged should be whole grains and legumes, and limit their consumption of red meats, fried foods, and sodium in their diet. Changes in food habits when in the U.S. Usually it's always a weight gain. A recent study was conducted in Rochester School of Medicine, where in-depth interviews were conducted in a sample of Somali women. They discussed the differences between the U.S. and Somalia in terms of food availability, and one participant said, in Somalia, they get food, but here in the U.S., it's just more fat food. Fat too much. So here, Somalis gain the weight because they don't go outside and they eat fat food. They just do not exercise. In conclusion, a lot of these health problems could be addressed by addressing the issue of unemployment, the economical issue, and the literacy rates in this country.